How much money have you given to the United States government in order to keep supporting Monsanto's GMO, and how much did you spend avoiding GMO labeling?
A lot of questions there. So like a lot of companies, we lobby on behalf of our farmer customers to make sure that their issues are understood and appreciated. I don't think there's anything unusual or atypical about our lobbying efforts. In terms of the food labeling, I think those numbers are very clear in terms of what the industry and what Monsanto contributed, both in California and.
But how much? Can you tell us how much in both cases? Because you didn't answer my first question.
I don't really have the specifics, but it's important. I'd be happy to follow up with you.
Wow.
Okay.
I gotta learn to do that. You know what?
No.
He could. That's like a curveball.
Yeah, but it's like a politician.
And a slide.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
Rob, what's wrong if they label it?
Not a thing. In fact, I think it's a great starting point for the conversation because a lot of people think that we're against labeling. The reality of it is we've been very supportive of the voluntary labeling approaches that I think are really the true answer for labeling. And so, voluntary labeling, whether it's GMO-free or organic, which are two very popular labels, I think makes a lot of sense. And so, the approach that companies like Whole Foods or Chipotle or what we've seen recently, with Cheerios is exactly the right way to label. Because, if a company wants to develop and support and market a product and get the marketing benefit or the perceived benefit of a voluntary label, makes complete sense to us.
With all due respect, you're giving a very political answer and you're avoiding the question again. You're saying that you're supporting positive labeling, which means that companies do have the freedom to say we are GMO free, but what you're eliminating in what you're saying is the fact that Monsanto supports not labeling.
7.1 million, yeah.
Right, you've spent a lot of money saying, going out and lobbying the government saying that you don't want GMOs to be labelled. The compulsory labelling of GMO use in processed foods.
We'll have plenty of time for dialogue, and my style. I be absolutely as direct and candid as is absolute I can be, because I've got a really strong passion about food and food safety as we go forward. So first of all, from a point of view of mandatory labeling, which was the point that was being debated both in California and Washington State, we're against that because mandatory labeling is an FDA decision. And if every state were to label their foods differently, I think it would really hurt farmers in the transport of food and really create unnecessary costs. And it's really not essential because the voluntary labeling schemes for GMO.
We have other labeling. We have other labeling for things like organic. We have other labeling. Every single product that you buy since the late 70s has some kind of label on it. So why wouldn't you allow, GMO corn, GMO soy, GMO wheat, whatever
so
it's going to be?
So people can make informed decisions, because there are people out there that don't want to buy GMO food. So why can't we give them the power to make an informed decision?
They can make an informed decision by buying organic, which is labeled certified and is non-GMO. And I also think that this is really an arrogant conversation.
Oh.
Because
it's not all going your way.
Because you're sitting here.
Yeah.
No, it's an arrogant conversation because it assumes that the people of California that voted no for labeling were doing it because somehow Monsanto put a gun to their head.
No,
and
but they
told them
certainly
to do
contributed.
Watch new episodes of Larry King Now, Monday through Thursday, on demand on Hulu and Aura.tv.